All right, so in this lesson, I want to introduce you to directory creation, file creation, and directory manipulation. And we're going to be doing all of this inside the command line just with our keyboards. So again, right now I'm starting in my root directory over here, and I am going to create a new folder right here. So obviously I can go through the right click, new folder, all of that, but we are pro developers now. So we're going to get used to using the command line. So the command is make dir or make directory, and then we're going to give our directory a name. So let's just call it Angela, right? You can see, there you go, pops up a new folder called Angela. Now let's cd into this new directory. And you can see that if I click on here, or if I use ls, that there's absolutely nothing in there. It's an empty folder. So what if I wanted to create a file? So in our graphical user interface, I could say open up an application like TextEdit, and I could make a file and write something in it and then save it inside my new directory. So I would have to do a little bit of navigating in order to get there, and then I have to give my file a name. Let's call it text and hit save. So now we have to exit the application, and after all of that work, I've got a text file. And if we do ls now, you can see that text.rtf exists. But if you want to do the same thing using the command line, then it's as simple as simply typing touch to create a new file. And then we're going to specify the name of the file. Let's call it text2. And then we give it an extension, .text. And you can open it either by double clicking on it, which is what we're used to, or you can simply write open text2, and it will open it using the default application, which is TextEdit in a Mac. Now you can specify which application you want to open this file in, and all you have to do is say the open, and then you're going to use the -a flag. Then you're going to specify the application that you want to use. So let's say that we want to open it inside Atom. So I can write Atom, and then I can specify the file that I want to open, so text2.text, and hit enter, and it will open up the Atom application that I've got, and then open up my file for me to be able to edit. So what if you wanted to delete files inside the command line? So currently I'm inside the Angela folder, and there are 2 files, and I want to delete my text.rtf. So then all you need to do is just use the rm command, which removes files if you type the command as is, so just rm. And then we're going to specify text.rtf to remove, and once I hit enter, you'll see it disappear also in the Finder as well. Now, what if I want to remove all the files inside a folder? So let's create some more text files. So let's call it text.text, and then let's create text3.text. So now I've got text2, text3. A little bit of a tongue twister there. And I want to remove all of them. So to do that, all you have to do is just hit. So to do that, you have to be inside the directory that you want to remove all the files from. And now I want to remove all of them in one go without having to type remove text.text, etc. So again, we're using the remove command, and then we're simply going to use the asterisk as a wildcard, which matches everything that has every single name. And now if I hit enter, you can see that all my 3 files inside my current directory are removed. So do you remember in the beginning of this module, we mentioned that using the command line gives you more power, more control. And as we all know, with great power comes great responsibility. And that means that you have to be careful when using certain commands, because the graphical user interface isn't there to protect you. So for example, if you were not inside the directory that you wanted to delete, say if you were inside your root directory and you tried to remove all the files inside your root directory, then it's probably not such a great idea. So always check which location you're in before you're doing some of these destructive commands. Now, if you're inside your root directory and you tried to do remove star, nothing bad is actually going to happen because there aren't any files that are inside this directory. There's only folders. And to remove folders or remove directories, there's a different command. So now I want to remove this Angela folder that I've created, and I'm inside the right place to do it. I'm inside my root directory, which is at this level. And again, always check where you are by using the ls command. You can see that I am at this level. So now I want to remove this Angela directory. And if I just simply write remove Angela and I hit enter, you can see it says that Angela is a directory. So this remove command by itself is not going to work. So to do it, we actually have to add a flag, which is the -r flag. So this allows you to remove a directory. So now let's try that again. Remove -r, and then we're going to use the Angela directory. And if we watch over here and I hit enter, you can see that that directory is now gone, including all the files that it held, all the folders that are inside the Angela folder, and it removes all of its child components. So again, these are destructive commands. Be really careful when you're using them. And in fact, there's a pretty hilarious bit of internet history, which is where somebody submitted a question to Stack Exchange Server Fault, which is similar to Stack Overflow, but it's more for sysadmin and network admins. So what he said was, Monday morning mistake. He used the sudo command, which stands for super user do, which uses your admin privileges to basically allow you to do things that are probably a little bit dangerous. And he used the remove command and then the -rf flag. So we've already seen the -r, which allows you to remove entire directories and all the folders and all the child folders it contains. He also used the f flag, which stands for force. So this doesn't ask you for a confirmation. And then the very last thing, which is something that you should probably never ever write, and there's very few cases where this is actually useful, which is the no preserve root. And what that means is that along with everything else inside this command, it basically wipes your hard disk to the point where you cannot recover it. Now, this guy said, Monday morning mistake. I basically just wiped my entire server, which obviously contains data from other people who are using his server. And what do I do? So as it turns out, this is actually a hoax where this guy is trying to advertise his server company. And I mean, it's clever, or is it not clever? I'm not sure that it's positive PR, but it got a lot of attention on the internets. So if you're interested, you can have a read of this and I'll link to it in this lesson. But basically, if you have a look at the answers, you can see that this is something really bad to never do. So with great power comes great responsibility. And in this module, I've introduced you to some of the most common commands that you're going to be finding yourself using, and also some of the most common shortcuts. In the last lesson, I posted a link to a cheat sheet of some other shortcuts that you can have a look at. And if you want to learn more about the command line, then this is a website that I highly recommend. I have nothing to do with them. It's just something that I found to be written quite well. So it's completely free, and it's called the Command Line Tutorial, Learn Enough Command Line to Be Dangerous. Again, the title is repeating what we just said before, but it goes into more depth, like grepping, curl, all of those things that you might have come across, and you will certainly come across more of it in your journey as a developer. So have a look at that if you're interested. And just before we head off, I want to show you something quite cool. Let's call it a bonus. And if you go into your terminal and you type emacs-batch-l, and then it's done it with 2 N's, and hit enter, you will get taken into a text-based choose your own adventure game that dates back a long time, and it's included in Emacs, which is a text editor that comes bundled with all macOS. So you might have heard of Vim and Emacs, highly divisive issue, and it's a really cool game that you can play within terminal. And I myself have probably spent more than a good few hours on this before. So again, play at your own peril. So it tells you a bit of a story, and you can write text commands to play the game. So for example, at this point, you're at a dead end of a dirt road and you find a shovel. So let's say something like use a shovel. Don't understand that. Okay, let's try something else. What about pick up shovel? Don't understand that. What about take shovel? Okay, great. So it recognizes that. Taken. And what can we do with the shovel? Let's try dig. Digging here reveals nothing. And this is my personal favorite. What if, let's just eat shovel. So as you can see, there's some pretty interesting endpoints, and have a play with it if you're interested. But otherwise, I will see you on the next module.